There's a day every man meets himself. It doesn't happen when you win or when she comes back or when life finally looks perfect. It happens when you finally stop chasing. At first, the stillness feels like loss. Your mind screams for movement, for messages, for something to prove you still matter. But somewhere beneath that noise, a whisper starts. You're allowed to rest. You listen. You breathe. And for the first time in a long time, you don't reach out. You don't explain. You don't justify. You don't try to be seen. You simply let things be. That single moment of silence rewires everything. Because chasing is motion without direction. It looks alive, but it drains life. And when you end the chase, you begin to move with purpose. She will notice. The world will notice. Even your own heartbeat feels different. The energy that once ran toward her now circles back to you, slowly rebuilding what was scattered. At first, she may think you're playing a game, that you're pretending not to care to make her react. But you know the truth. This isn't strategy, it's evolution. You've stopped living reactively and started living consciously. And here's the hidden truth most never learn. When you stop chasing her, she doesn't lose interest. She loses the ability to define your worth. That's what truly unsettles her, because attention is currency, and you just stopped paying. A stoic man understands that silence is not empty. It's full of answers. In silence, you hear the lessons that noise hides, that you can love without possession, that you can care without clinging, that peace was never something she could give. It was something you forgot you already had. You begin to move through life slower but sharper. You notice your posture, your breath, the way you walk into a room. There's weight behind your calm now. You don't need to announce your value. You embody it. People start responding differently. They can feel the boundary even if you never speak it. That's the quiet power of detachment. It changes the atmosphere without confrontation. Sometimes she'll circle back. A random text, a memory shared, a question disguised as care. Old you would have rushed to answer. Now you pause, smile slightly, and return to your focus. Because you finally understand that not every knock deserves an open door. The irony is she might start to chase you. But by then, the game has lost its meaning. You no longer need to win because you're no longer playing. That's the essence of stoicism, mastery of self over the illusion of control. You don't control her feelings, only your responses. You don't control outcomes, only your effort. You don't chase validation, you build value. Each morning becomes training. When you resist the urge to check your phone, that's discipline. When you stay focused on your purpose instead of her story, that's progress. When you choose peace over reaction, that's power. Weeks pass. The ache softens. The memories remain, but they lose their bite. You see now that heartbreak was not destruction, it was initiation. It stripped away illusion and forced you to face yourself. You start to rebuild, quietly, methodically. You hit the gym not to impress her, but to honor your potential. You study, you work, you sit in silence without needing noise to fill it. And in that silence, something new is born. Respect for your own company. That's when life begins to open again. Opportunities appear. Your creativity returns. Your conversations become deeper. Your circles smaller. Your standards higher. You realize peace is not boring. Peace is powerful. She might look at you now and feel something she can't explain. Because the man who once needed her has become the man she always hoped he'd be. But you've outgrown the need to prove anything. You simply wish her well and keep walking. Understand this. Detachment is not rejection of love. It's rejection of dependence. You can love someone and still let them go. You can miss someone and still move forward. Strength is not pretending you don't care. It's caring in a way that doesn't destroy you. The world tells men to fight for love. Stoicism tells men to fight for clarity. Because love without clarity becomes chaos, and chasing chaos will always end in exhaustion. So you learn to observe rather than react, to listen rather than interrupt, to pause before speaking. Each act of restraint adds another brick to the fortress of your peace. One day you'll see her again, maybe in passing, maybe on a screen, and you'll realize that your heart doesn't race anymore. You'll remember how hard it used to beat, and you'll smile. Not because you stopped caring, but because you finally healed. The chase ended, and in its place grew understanding. You didn't lose her, you lost the version of yourself that thought you needed her to be whole. And that is victory. From that point on, your life moves differently. You set goals, not distractions. You seek depth, not drama. You build momentum quietly, letting results speak for you. People will call you mysterious. You'll know it's just self-control. And the more you master that, the more magnetic you become. Because calm is rare. Presence is rare. A man who needs nothing commands everything. Remember, peace will cost you your old identity, your old habits, your old need to chase, but it will give you back your soul. And that's a trade worth making. So keep walking, keep choosing purpose over validation, keep learning to love without attachment, to give without losing yourself, to stand still while the world spins. Because when you stop chasing her, you don't end a story. You begin the chapter where you finally meet the man you were meant to become.